Hey guys, so I just got done with a closing on a refinance that we did for a 3-family that completes our BRRRR on this particular property. And I just want to share with you guys, this is the check. This is the check that we just got. This basically covers the entire purchase, the rehab, and we can start using the money again. So just want to do a quick video about this, tell you about the property, what we did, and how it all went down. Coming up. Hey guys, if we're just meeting, my name is Vitaly Volpov. I'm a practicing attorney, an active real estate investor, and a part owner of a real estate brokerage in upstate New York. On this channel, I discuss relevant legal concepts as well as best strategies and tips for real estate investing. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so that YouTube notifies you of all my future content. If you enjoyed the content in this video, hit the like button and comment down below. So I wasn't really planning to do a video today. This is kind of spur of the moment, last minute thing. We had our closing scheduled today and got the check, and then I thought, you know what, maybe I'll jump on here, talk about the deal, kind of give you some insight on what we did and why we're getting a check and what's going on with this. So this is a 3-family property that we bought at a tax foreclosure auction about 1.5 years ago, and we bought it for $70,000 including all the fees, and we put probably about I think $115,000 into this building. It needed a lot of work. We had to do new HVAC, electrical, plumbing, and then all the the carpets, appliances, kitchens, everything. So it was a pretty expensive project, and for what it was, it was a pretty long project as well. And at the end of the day, we ended up fine. We did great. We were able to get all of our money back. All the money that our lenders lent us to buy this property and to rehab it, but there were some bumps along the way, so there are definitely some lessons to be learned from this. But just so you guys know that this is a buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat strategy, the BRRRR method, and you may have heard me talk about this before, but that is the primary strategy that I use now. And the way we're doing this is we're actually not using any of our own personal funds. Everything, both the purchase price and the rehab costs, are financed by private financing, private lenders. And so the way it works is we borrow money from these private individuals at a fairly high interest rate. These are interest-only loans at 10%, and they're usually anywhere between 1 year and 3 years in length. And so we simply borrow the money, the investors get a lien on the property, and we pay them monthly interest until we refinance the property like we did today. So in this case, we borrowed $185,000, and we used that to purchase the property and then use it to do the rehab. I know that some of you are going to say, oh, but the check is for $178,000, and you're telling us that you invested $185,000 in this deal, so you must be short by $7,000, right? Well, technically, yes, except that we've owned this property for 1.5 years now. It's been rented for 1 year, and we've been collecting rents from the property for 1 year, and our profits have been pretty decent on this deal, and actually probably far in excess of $7,000 at this point. So I would say it's still a no money down deal, and certainly wasn't any of our money going into it. So I still think that it's fair to say that this was a complete BRRRR where we were able to get all of the money out. We actually have more than $7,000 in this account so that it can go back into the pool of money that the lenders lent us. That adds up to $185,000. So in case you're wondering about that, that's how I'm getting to that particular number. And some of the lessons with this particular deal were that we pretty much made some rookie mistakes with this. We used the contractor that my business partner has worked with before, so we felt comfortable with him. We thought it would work out well. He asked for 1/3 of his fee up front. which we agreed to, which was the first mistake. And he started charging against that balance basically every week or every 2 weeks, however we did it. And he didn't actually get enough work done to justify the amount of money we paid him, and by the time he ran out. And so 5-6 weeks into it, the money was gone. He was asking us for payment, and we were saying, well, how much longer do you have left? And we're going by the property and asking him what's the schedule, where are we with this? And he kept saying, oh, I can get it done 2 weeks or 4 weeks. And so it dragged on, and we could see that it wasn't realistic. He wasn't going to get done for the price he originally quoted us. And then just dragged on, and eventually we just had to let him go and get a new contractor in to sort of complete the work. And it was, we had to backtrack. We just ended up spending a lot more money on the contractor and on the rehab than we anticipated. The other thing with this was that we actually bought this 3-unit sight unseen. And this is one of those things that if you're buying it at a tax auction, depending on where your jurisdiction is, where you how your municipality is doing these, you may not be able to get inside the property to see it. And we didn't. We actually weren't necessarily planning to buy this particular property. I went to the auction with information on maybe 5 or 6 different buildings that we might be interested in, and was just bidding on different buildings. And this one, went into pretty substantial back and forth with another investor, and so it ended up being $57,000 was the actual purchase price. And then with all the additional costs, the auction fees, the city fees and attorney fees, all those different things that the city charged us, it ended up being just around $70,000. And so for not having seen the property, buying a foreclosed building that's been vacant for many, many years by the time we bought it, was definitely a huge risk, and not something that I would necessarily recommend to most people. Now, my business partner is very savvy with construction. He has contractors, so we felt pretty confident that we could get it done, even though we're paying for something we haven't seen. On the outside, it looked good. It looked like a decent structure. It looked like it was big and all those things, but it was definitely a risk. And at the time we were buying it, there was really nothing on the market. And so we were trying to think outside the box and try to find a building that we can purchase and start working on, because we had the money. We had our lenders lined up, waiting to deploy their funds. So we were kind of had our backs against the wall in that sense. And it was definitely a difficult rehab, probably one of the most difficult ones we've done, even though it wasn't the biggest. So that was one mistake, or definitely lesson learned. The other one being also the contractor. And the third one also is, I didn't know that the costs of an auction were that high. So on a purchase of $57,000, you're paying $13,000 in all kinds of fees and costs that don't actually go toward the purchase price. That's a lot. That's a pretty substantial chunk of the whole purchase price. And then last but not least was the fact that when you buy a property at a tax auction, you are going to have some potential title issues, because title companies are pretty skittish about these types of transactions. And most of the time what you're getting is something that's called a quitclaim deed from the municipality. And a quitclaim deed is basically no guarantee. It's basically you are getting whatever rights in the property that the city had, and the city acquired its rights in the property through a foreclosure process. And a lot of times those are notorious for including mistakes, for having issues where maybe the foreclosure wasn't done exactly correctly, or the prior owner can sort of come out of the woodwork and try to challenge the tax sale, the tax foreclosure that the municipality engaged in. And so title companies are very nervous about insuring that type of title, and so it became a problem for us if we went to refinance it or if we decided we wanted to sell it. I did a a bunch of research trying to find a title company that would provide title either for a purchase or a refinance within a short period of time. But most title companies were saying that they need to see us own the property for at least 2 years. And this is because a prior owner would have the right to come in within the first 2 years and challenge the tax sale. So they were telling us, we won't do it unless you've owned it for 2 years. And so if you are in that situation and you're trying to do a flip on a property you acquired at a tax sale, you may not be able to flip it. You may be in some serious trouble if you can't get financing to bridge that gap and own it for 2 years, and also if you can even hold it without taking a huge loss on it. So I definitely recommend, before you buy any properties at a tax foreclosure sale, to look in your jurisdiction and see, is this property going to be insurable from title perspective? And if you're looking to do a flip, definitely don't do it unless you can insure of that. For us, this was a rental property. Our financing, even though it was private money, it was longer term. So we could hold out for 2 years or 3 years if necessary. But I was able to find a local title company here with one of the attorneys that I am friends with, and they were able to insure title on this property sooner than the 2 years. Actually, they said, as long as you've owned it for a year, we could insure title. And so here we are. We completed the refinance and closed on it within a year and a half, and we're able to get title on the building. But that was definitely a potential pitfall for us in this deal. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. As far as the details on the building, it's a 3-unit building. We're making about $3,600 per month gross on the building. The new loan, principal and interest, is going to be a little over $1,000, and then we have obviously all the costs, taxes, insurance, maintenance, repairs, capital expenditures, all those things. I think altogether we're probably going to clear somewhere around $600 per month on it after all the other expenses, maybe more, but to be conservative, I would say probably about $600 per month. So $200 per unit is not bad, especially considering that we didn't invest any of our own money in this, and all of our investors' money is now pulled back out of it, and it's ready to be deployed on another deal. So that's going to do it for this video. If you guys have questions, drop them in the comments. And if you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.